Hey guys, Asher coming at you today, Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. I'm glad to have you all here. Hopefully you're doing well. I'm doing great myself. I am absolutely thirsty for basketball to start. I don't know how many NBA fans are in the audience, but diehard Celtics fan here, and I can't wait. Also, I just out of just random curiosity, what is your favorite old school game? You guys know, or maybe you don't know, but I uploaded the longest video in the history of YouTube, and I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. I probably say that too often nowadays, but I feel like a dinosaur. A 6-hour video here on the channel just 2-3 days ago. Yeah, that was a long one. Definitely, judging by the comments, too long for a lot of you, the majority of you, but a lot of you guys really like that content too.
Sometimes you're a little too much.
I don't think I am too much. I actually think I am the perfect right portion.
What inspired me to make that 6-hour long reviewing every legendary in the game video was, as I mentioned at the top of that video, a channel that I got into called I Beat a Video Game, or I Finished a Video Game. Man, I just like these long format kind of retro gaming videos. It all brings me to the point, and that is my question for you guys. What is your favorite retro like video game or IP? Like, you know, like what reminds you of your childhood? For me, I think I love Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, and I also love Castlevania. Those are like my two faves. So, but I guess it depends on when in my life we're talking, right? Because I really loved Halo 2 back in the day, Halo, kind of those LAN party days, and EverQuest 2 was like, that's probably my #1 game, you know? So anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I want to thank today's video sponsor is Bloodline Heroes of Lightfast. Now, I've been partnering with Bloodline since the game's launch, so I've seen up close and personal how awesome and innovative this game is. If you're unfamiliar with the game, it is a dark fantasy RPG game, and well, we get to create our own unique legendary champions in this game by combining, you guessed it, Bloodlines. So with its innovative air system as well as its top-notch graphics, this is a very compelling offering, and it really makes for this perfect, I don't know, side game to play on the side. And I say that with no disrespect. We're talking top tier graphics, and the best part, it's absolutely free to play. So if you're watching right now, go ahead and download using the links in the description, or if you're watching on the computer or the TV, go ahead and scan that QR code and you'll be directed right to the download with my bonus offering, which I'll tell you guys about in just a minute. So as I mentioned, you can customize your champions by combining different bloodlines. There are over 4,000 different fantasy hybrid combinations for you guys to go ahead and explore and take advantage of on your teams. So as I was saying, guys, there's updates all the time in this game. As a matter of fact, every 2 weeks, they're announcing a brand new bloodline, which is super cool. Unique abilities, as I mentioned, companion forms as well, and genders. The whole shebang every 2 weeks. The most recent, as you can see in the background, are the Thunderlords, and they look like incredible powerhouses inside the game. So guys, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Go ahead and download today. It's free on iOS and Android, or again, if you're viewing from the PC, go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen right now in the top right, right? Go ahead and scan that QR code and download, because I got some goodies for you. I have 1 summoning crystal, I have 100,000 gold, and I have 100 diamonds if you download using my link or QR code. The first 30 players, by the way, who leave their in-game ID and username, in the pinned comment, respond to my pinned comment of the video, you will get a free legendary female succubus champion, the Luxuriant. She's a hard carry, especially in the early game. One of the best mages out there, so take advantage, guys. Thank you, Bloodline Heroes of Lightfast, for sponsoring today's video. Today, we're going to talk about some mistakes, guys. And I've made only 15 mistakes. I've counted, I've notated along the way. I kid, I probably made a tenfold that many mistakes. But just basically calls that I got wrong on champions. Either they're far better than I thought they were going to be, or far worse than I thought they were going to be. So today I'm going to give you 15 champions that yours truly got wrong in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's start with an epic, guys. I have 1 rare on the list, a few epics, and a lot of legendaries, okay? Let's start with an epic, and it's Skoramis. Dude, this guy's very good, exceptionally good. They don't make champions, well, I guess they do make champions like him nowadays, right? But they didn't make champions like him back in my day, starting raid. 20k base HP, his base stats are solid. On his A1, he's got outpace where and this A1 is actually important here, right? Because basically he's going in there and stealing 15% of the target turn meter. and then has a 30% chance of placing a stun for 1 turn if the target's turn meter is fully depleted. We'll get back to that because his kit is just so synergistic, which I love. Effortless superiority. Man, what a humble guy, right? Effortless superiority. Love the name here. It's a 3-turn cooldown AoE, decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. Also has a 75% chance of placing a decreased attack. Okay, but fills his champion's turn meter by 10% for each buff that has its duration decreased. You know what? When building this champion for my other channel, for the Raid Champion Guides channel, I just didn't expect for there to consistently be, I underestimated how many buffs I would be going against, right? In so many areas of the game. He just gets like almost a full turn, you know, in so many situations that I just wasn't ready for. Dungeons, you just name it. So it's awesome. That's 10% for every buff. So obviously, I mean, quick math here, boys and girls. If there's 3 buffs on 2 champions, it's a 60% turn meter fill. That's really nice. Anyway, hold the front is 100% provoke on a 3-turn cooldown, man. I mean, heck, some legendaries don't even have that, right? Looking at you, Chromax Moonblood.
Quit looking at me like that.
A counterattack and a continuous heal on this champion for 2 turns while we're at it. So lockdown provoke with the counterattack, and this is where I said we get back to the A1, right? He's going to go back into that A1, and he's going to, I mean, they just attacked him, right? Because there's provoke on them, right? So they just used their A1 to attack Skaramis, and then he's going to counterattack when they have no turn meter, thus stunning them, so they basically lose 2 turns with this champion. That's really cool, man. He is a stellar control champion with HP in all battles by 25%. Way better than I thought it was going to be. Okay, let me talk about a champion that, to really no fault of his own, and I've talked this guy up, to be fair. Like, you know, what a scumbag I am, talking up a champion who actually is not that great anymore, in my opinion, and is actually Gizcard the Sagiled.
There's nothing cheap about loyalty.
First of all, this dude has, I'm going to read his kit quickly, you know, defense, faction crypts, 1454. That's going to be like one of the higher defenses in the game for an epic, right? So nice and tanky. You love it. He's got a decreased attack on the A1. He's got an AoE provoke, 75% chance, not 100 like Skaramis. 75% chance, which I really don't love 75% provokes because when you're looking for an AoE provoke, most of the time you're just looking for it to land, you know, like you really want 100% on that particular debuff. Because, you know, what good is it otherwise? Anyway, increased defense and an increased attack on the same ability. For me, this was his calling card, you know, initially. But now, I feel like everyone, and if not everyone eventually will get their hands on a little champion. You may have heard of her, one of the best in the game, called Mithrala Lifebane. So now, you know, this ability is not that special anymore, having both the increased defense and increased attack on the same 3-turn cooldown because, you know, power creep. It's a case of power creep. So my personal story with Gizcard the Sagiled is I invested in him super late. I actually just built him.
It's never too late.
And then I'm getting ready to make the guide, and I'm thinking to myself, as I'm preparing to make the guide, which hasn't gone live yet, so way to promote the video, Ash. I'm thinking to myself, does anybody even care about this champion now that there's Mithrala Lifebane, who has increased attack, increased defense, and a hex, and, well, you know, one of the best kits in the game. So, he disappointed, unfortunately.
What do you want to talk about, Toby?
Let's stick with the epics. Let's just keep sticking with the epics here, guys. Somebody who impressed me. Frenzy the Cackler. Ooh, she was way better than I expected. Very cool champion. Again, I guess we found another champion with a lot of base defense, guys, because 1443 is pretty dang close. 100 base speed, solid. She's a defense-based champion, obviously. She's fairly new, right? She's got the HP burn instant activation on the A1, which is good. 50% clip is good. And then we have Jaws of Flame. It's a 3-time at random with a burn, right? Fills the champion's turn meter by 10% for each burn placed by the skill. Not too bad. You can get, you know, get yourself a 30% maybe turn meter fill. But, you know, the A3 is an AoE, 100% provoke on a 4-turn cooldown with increased defense, ergo more damage because she's a defense-based champion. So the kit reads pretty well. But I was like, I don't know, man. Like, where am I going to use this champion, right? Well, it turns out she's a pro at lower to mid-level, I will say, duoing of Sand Devil, right? So if you don't have a Ninja or a Walking Toondrang or a Chronum, for example, you can duo with a Frenzy the Cackler. She's got you covered for Sand Devil, okay? Furthermore, though, and I think that, you know, duoing it's fine, that's nice on Sand Devil, but more importantly, dude, she's a hard carry in Ice Golem Hard, right? Ice Golem Hard hits very hard, you know?
Yeah, I know, I couldn't believe it.
And he's also, you know, she's tanky. She can take a hit. He hits, you know, and she's doing a ton of damage, right, with the burn. So, you know, those are just a couple of areas. Obviously, you can use her in Faction Wars and you know, areas like that as well. But man, she's a really good option, alternative to those of you who maybe missed out on some of those more OP, you know, the Chronums and the Ninjas of the world. So she was impressive. She's a pretty cool champion. She can dish out some serious damage anywhere that you need a single target burner. Okay, next up is going to be...
Hey, my voice just changed.
This is a crazy one. I talk about this champion way too much, guys. I apologize. I'm going to keep it pretty brief on this dude. But I knew Tagore was going to be good. I just didn't know he was going to be the best damn legendary. I almost said Freudian slip. The best damn epic in the game. And maybe I'm being a little bit hyperbolic there, but not a ton, man. Not a ton. This dude is a monster.
I'm a soldier, not a monster.
I knew he was going to be good. I didn't know he was going to be this good. Just insane. If you have this champion, you can't sleep on this dude. Do not sleep on him. Increased defense for 2 turns in the ally with lowest HP. Big version on his A1. The Magic Stick. On the A2, Charge Can't. Charge Can. Oh, Charge Can.
I think that this is quite possibly the most wonderful piece of information I've ever received in my entire life.
He's got an AoE with increased speed on a 3-turn cooldown, then a heal based on his max HP. This is a very good ability. Big version speed, a big boy heal. You can stack up that HP really nice, and an AoE attack, which oddly actually deals some decent damage. This dude's attack is 1145. But wait, there's more. An AoE revive, 30% HP, but they get the nice beefy shield, 20% of his max HP on a 5-turn cooldown. So now you get an AoE revive. But wait, there's even more. He's got to decrease the damage allies receive. As long as they have 50% or less, he's got a built-in 10% damage mitigator. I mean, that is really good. And then HP in all battles by 25%, man. Again, I knew this guy was going to be good, so I don't want to say I was wrong. Maybe I'm cheating a little bit on this champion. I just want an excuse to talk about my boy. But he's so good. I mean, he is so insanely good. To get a great healer, not good, but great, and an increased speed, and an AoE revival, and damage mitigation, and damage on an AoE, and increased defense from an epic, and he's pretty fast at 105 speed.
Oh, well, that's very flattering, but look.
That's enough for the moment.
Okay, I'll shut up about him, but I love him. All right, let's talk about some other champions other than poor Gizcard who are worse than expected, okay? Let's start out with this one, and I know some of you guys are going to hate on me a little bit for this one because, well, I mentioned it before, and you guys love this champion, some of you, but Claydena. Yeah, she looks cool. She's like a tree, half woman, and, yeah, I mean, her base stats are pretty solid, right? And her kit reads pretty well. She's got the Touch of Slumber with the Sleep on the A1, fills his champion's turn meter. On the A2, Lost in the Woods. We got a decreased speed and a leech on all enemies. No damage there, but it is, you know, 2 decent debuffs to have. And then a heal on this champion's max HP. So what's wrong with that, Ash? Well, there's nothing wrong with it. When you go to the A3, she's got block debuffs and revive on death on a 3-turn as well. And then she has a chance of blocking incoming damage. The reason I was wrong about her, frankly, is I made an ass out of you and me. And I assumed that this Fey Monarch, I assumed it was a 60% chance to completely block incoming damage on the first hit of an attack for the team. I don't know, that was a really dumb thing to assume in hindsight, but I did. And it's not. It's only her. Very selfish of you, Claydena. And then the rest of the kit is like solid, but again, no damage on the A2, no damage on the A3. I know she's not supposed to be a damage dealer, but you're getting no damage with a decreased speed, leech, and 2 solid buffs too. But it's weird. I guess what team other than a progression team or maybe a very niche Sand Devil team are you going to be using this Void Legendary on? I don't know. Her kit reads well. just couldn't find a use for it anywhere, you know? And I was kind of misled by that passive Plarium. Easier to blame others when you make a mistake.
Now all I need is your credit card number.
All right, next up, guys, is going to be... Oh, we're not far. Let's just talk about him, man. I made a video on this dude, so cat's out of the bag to some extent, but it's my celiac priest, Orm. He's a fun guy. Get it? He's a fun guy. He's a fun... Come on, dad jokes. I got him.
Don't do this, please.
My celiac priest, Orm, is a boss. I said this in the guide that I put out on this champion, but I'll repeat it again for those of you who don't watch every single video I put out on every single channel. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame.
I've got a life to live.
This dude can solo like a monster. People initially told me, I believed you guys in the comments. Shame on me. People were like, dude, when he came out, I was like, he looks interesting. And you guys were like, well, Ash, if you already have Dark Kale, then you don't need him. And I'm like, dude, okay, makes sense because he's a poisoner with an instant activation. Oh, he's so much more than that. He's got, I mean, I guess he's not that much more than that, but he's really good and he's much more tanky than a Dark Kale, which allows him to solo content, you know? On my mini, I got this guy just soloing content like a boss, also, you know, farming up food for me at the same time. So I love this guy. He can deal so much damage. He's a dungeon kind of solo champion, farm up your food, be efficient with your energy type deal like that. Next up, guys, so he was way better than I thought. Next up is the only rare on the list, and you guys know how much I love this champion, man. He's a champ. Let me get these red dots out of here too. Abyssal. Oh, I love this guy. 1 second. I have a naughty little boy throwing confetti broken paper at me. Do you want to say hi? That is in the middle of recording. Say hi. Say it with your mouth. With your mouth. That's a boy. This boy is having a great year in kindergarten so far. He's a big, big boy. And Dad is recording a video. So can you let me finish without throwing paper, please? Okay. Abyssal, first of all, nice and tanky. 1,000 base defense almost and 18K on the HP. He's got an AoE on the A1 with block buffs. I discounted this block buffs because it's only 15% or 30 with the books, but the 30% block buffs in rare rooms, secret rooms where I'm using this guy, actually has come in handy a lot more than I thought it would. Furthermore, in Faction Wars, it's really handy, right? So, and Doom Tower floors in general, you know, anytime you have to deal with, well, there's a lot of buffers out there, but the Valkyries of the world, the Sifis of the world, it's nice to have. He's got a solid heal, not insanely good, but a solid heal on the A2. Of course, I run him in a stun set with Fearsome Presence, so we get a 23% chance to land a stun every single time on the A1. And then he doesn't need accuracy, you know, I guess he does a little bit for the block buffs, but the rest of his kit doesn't. And then he's got increased defense and increased attack on a 4-turn cooldown. It's the weak version, and again, it's easy to scoff at this. I did originally, but you know what? On all these rare secret rooms, you know who's not bringing increased defense, increased attack on most of these rooms? Me, until I had Abyssal. So it's better than nothing, you know? It does make an impact. You put it all together, he's a great control champion with some nice heals and buffs, right, to add to the equation as well. Initially, I just wasn't a big fan. I was like, kind of a mediocre kit. And now he's really one of my most used rares because I use him in every secret room I possibly can. All right, guys, another champion that let me down. And that is going to be good old Galicia. I thought maybe it was the wings. Maybe I was distracted by the wings.
Quit getting distracted by all the girls and all the other stupid stuff.
Some of the best in the game right there. I got to be real with you guys. By the way, apropos of nothing, or apropos of wings, I guess. A lot of you guys shouting out Thea the Tomb Angel on her wings. You said I snubbed her on my top 3 wings. I apologize. You're right. I stand corrected. Anyway, Galicia. Underrated wings. Wow. Anyway, listen, 1509 base defense. Her kit is all right. An AoE weaken, a block debuff for 2 turns, and then a freeze, 80% freeze on a 4-turn cooldown, right? But really, this Timeless got me excited. Finally, a response to Yumekos and Warlords. At the time, it was kind of a Warlord response. Now it's a Yumeko Warlord and, you know, Alika and Basher, right? Whenever an enemy tries to put the champion's skills or an ally's skills on cooldown, plays a freeze debuff on that enemy. 50% chance of denying the cooldown increase effect. I was excited about this, but frankly, after a lot of trying to fit this square peg in the round hole, aka be a meta champion on my squad, Nah, she's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not high enough of a percentage to decrease the cooldown increase effect. That's all I have to say about that. I think it ought to be buffed to like a 65% chance or something a little bit more reliable. I think it doesn't sound like much, but I think that would have a pretty profound impact on her viability as an anti-cooldown champion. So yeah, that's Glacia. I thought she was just going to be like an incredibly used champion in the game, and she's just not. She's just not, you know? It's a crapshoot. Do you want to waste a spot in your live arena team on a crapshoot? No. You know, either that or give her a little bit more versatility outside of that passive. Next up, guys, is going to be a champion, kind of an old, not old school, but it has been a while since I talked about this dude. And he's an undead horde. I always forget where Euros. He doesn't feel like he feels like he fits in with Sylvan Watchers aesthetically, if anything, right? I mean, look at his poor head. I don't know why, but I just feel bad for the guy. I mean, doesn't he look like he's sad? Oh, poor Euros' soul cage. It's a cheer up guy. Cheer up, man.
I don't know why. It makes me sad.
It ain't easy being green.
This guy is so much better than I thought he was. For the longest time, for the longest time. No?
No.
All right. So for the longest time, I thought he was just a solo champion because of the poisons on the passive. But boy, is he so much more than that. Doom Tower hard track champion. He's got the AoE. He's got the poison. He's got the decreased speed. He's got the stun, depending on how many poisons they're under. It's a nice ability on the A2. Fetid Eruption sounds kind of funny. I don't know why, but anyway. Maybe that's why he's so sad. I don't know. A Soul Bounty with the Strengthen and Ally Protect. Both big versions on the same ability. Great support. Super tanky. But really, I underestimated just how cool that whenever an ally is protected while under a Strengthen, has a 75% chance of placing a Provoke with no cooldown. Just happens all the time. What an amazing control champion and support champion and more control champion and damage dealer. This guy's so good. Like, so good. Way better than I thought he was going to be. All right, next up is going to be a champion that was sadly worse. We're going back to the negative here, guys. And it's Green Warden Rhuarc, okay? So this guy, man, I was excited about this dude. I mean, he's got the face on his chest. That's cool. He's got the cool shield. He's got the cool aesthetics. And he's got a pretty cool kit. He's transferring debuffs to the champion, to the target. He's got an AoE decrease attack. He's stealing continuous heals. Kind of niche, but whatever. He's got a taunt, increased defense, and a strengthen. He was one of the first, him and the dude were the first two taunt champions in the game. And then whenever an ally loses 10% or more of his max HP from a single hit, plays a shield on the ally, on the passive. And you can book it down to a 0 turn, you know? So you put all that together, and I was kind of excited to try him out, maybe in the arena, have some fun with the taunt. But it turns out taunt's just not that good in the game, you know? Not as good as I was expecting it to be. Moreover, it's a 4-turn cooldown, you know? And they last for 2 turns. To me, he's not good, unfortunately. Let me know if you disagree on this champion. He's got potential, but maybe if this was a 3-turn or something like that, or if at least the increased defense and the strengthen lasted for 3 turns at the very least, you know? And I don't know. I mean, or maybe the increased defense and the strengthen goes on all allies. You know, he's such a hog. He's hogging all of his own buffs, you know? I don't know. I think he's kind of a waste of a spot. He really, really, really let me down. All right, next up, guys, is going to be a champion that's way better than we thought, and that is going to be Mr. Executioner. Oh, now this is a defense-based champion I can sink my teeth into. I maxed him a couple years ago, but I didn't think he was much. I didn't think much of this champion. He's slow. He's, you know, a rare, you know. But boy, I love Executioner. I really do. He's got a stun on the A1, 30% chance. He's got this Tumult ability is great. Especially for a rare, he's got good multipliers, even though it's oddly based on attack. But he's tanky for a rare, so you can keep him alive easy. And this deals good damage, Tumult. Decreases target's turn meter by 20% on an AoE. and then has a 75% chance of placing a decreased speed. It's all on a 3-turn cooldown. That's really good. It's a weak version of decreased speed, but it's a very good controllability from a rare champion. And then he's got to increase defense on himself for more damage, being a defense-based champion, and a counterattack for 3 turns, which leads into more stun potential. He's very good for control, very good for secret rooms, and he's easy to keep alive. I like him. All right, guys. Kind of like Tagore, I can't get through a video nowadays without mentioning, not him, without mentioning Walking Tomb Drang and my undying love for this champion. I mean, he's got instant activation on burns. He's got the burn. But most importantly, the AoE burns a 3-turn cooldown can't be resisted. And in case you weren't aware by now, I say it every video I record, I feel like. I could be doing a video on best rares and I'll be like, hey, by the way, did you know that Walking Tomb Drang's Corpse Fire A1 requires no accuracy as well? Did you know that? That it's not intuitive is the reason I say that from just looking at the skill that it requires no accuracy to instantly activate. But it doesn't. And you don't need accuracy for the burn. And oh, while we're at it, let's just give him the best heal in the game, too. Why not that? Why not, right? I can't believe I didn't go for this fusion. Thankfully, I pulled him afterwards. But it's one of those equalizes brought up to the ally with the highest HP, you know? I mean, what a great champ. What a great champ. So much better than I thought. I can't believe I passed on that fusion. All right, this one's going to be super controversial. Better than I expected. Gerda Bog, I can't believe I'm putting this in here. Gerda Bogbrew, I'm just asking for thumbs down in this video now, guys. I mean, I already had so many side tangents this video. I had like a 3-minute intro. My son interrupted the video. I sang to you guys, and then I put Gerda Bogbrew as the cherry on top. Boy, this is going to be an unpopular one. I mean, she's got great base stats. 21k, 1300 on the HP and defense. She can solo content like a boss, right? And then when you read the kit, she's got an AoE weaken. After attacking, if the weaken doesn't land, she can place 2 poisons. It's not very consistent, but it is what it is. And then she has 100% chance of removing a random buff from all enemies. And then 100% chance of placing 2 poisons on all enemies. And then 100% chance, obviously, of removing 2 random debuffs from all allies, all on a 3-turn cooldown. I mean, this is a very good ability, you know? Whenever an enemy receives a debuff, their turn meter is decreased by 3%. Well, that's a very good control ability as well. I don't know why she gets all the hate that she gets. She's a daily login reward champion after like years of playing this game. You can get your hands on her. Yeah, I don't know for the life of me why people hate on her so much, you know? She's not that bad. I'm not sitting here telling you she's the best champion in the game or an S-tier champion or anything like that. But I mean, she does have her use cases, you know, and that's a very good A3. It's a capable A2, and, you know, it's a very good Malign Tendrils is a very good passive as well, you know? Well, guys, you probably knew I was going to put this champion in there. You know, I'm going to save it to last, the obvious one. But I will give you my second to last one. It's Morrigan, another champion that I did not fuse. And, well, the theme of the video is I should have. Man, she's really good. She's a really good champion. Especially in the... Well, she can use her anywhere, to be clear. But in the arena, she's very good as well. First of all, at the start of the turn, each turn, plays a heal reduction for 2 turns on the enemy lowest HP. Can't be removed, transferred, spread, blah, 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 right? Can't get rid of it. I don't like heal reduction, but I like this passive. It's a very annoying heal reduction. The champion that you want to heal the most, you can't for 2 turns at the start of each turn. It's happening all the time. You can't get rid of it. You can't heal your nuker, your squishiest champion. It's a good passive. It's the best heal reduction in the game. Maybe that in Venom Age. Anyway, Velocimancy? Velocimancy. On the A3, it's an AoE, it's 100% decreased turn meter, increased turn meter move with the increased speed. A la Energized Lysandra, except for 30, it's 20%, right? But it's a great opening move in the arena or anywhere else. But what really brings her kit together for me is the fact that you can open in the arena with this move and then go to a really good move for her second turn as well, on top of the passive, right? So Shriek of the Banshee, after you open up with this great A3, you come in and then you steal all buffs from an enemy, but then you put True Fear on everybody, and then a decreased accuracy instead if you're fighting a boss. it's a really awesome second move, right, in the game. And then a decreased speed on the A1, a 70% clip. Very fast, 112 base speed. I really like Morrigan. She can be used basically anywhere, you know, but in the arena, she's really fun as well. Very effective. I hate going against her in the arena. I'm just going to throw some shade. I feel like it's a public service announcement at this point on Castigator because I hate this champion so much. I hate Castigator because, you know, this is probably my biggest mistake, I would argue, ever on the channel. Because for maybe a year, I recommended, if you go back and watch my best rares or the only rares worth investing in, I consistently recommended Castigator to players. You know, all jokes aside, it's pretty embarrassing that I did that because this guy's trash. I learned a valuable lesson. If you're going to recommend a champion that you have not used extensively yourself as a content creator, then really sit down and watch more guides on them beforehand, you know? Anyway, I say all that to say that has a provoke on the A1, a low chance of provoke, and then like the worst A2 in the history of games, and that's the whole kit, right? Passive, whatever. Holy equity, man. I misread this ability, you know, and that's why I recommended him to everybody. But I thought it was essentially the Walking Tombdrang heal, the Sinesha heal, you know, the Vassal the Seal heal, the... What's the other guy I'm thinking of? Help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. Truoth. It's the Truoth heal. Heals the ally with lowest HP by 20% of this champion's max HP, then equalizes the HP of all levels and grants this champion an extra turn. Well, what's wrong with that? I'll tell you what's wrong with that. It's a little baby heal on one target, and the equalization does nothing. Unless there's somebody literally about to die on your team. Because it's not equalizing it to the ally with the highest HP. It's just equalizing it. And, you know, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to build this champion and try him out. Because he puts up, like, no healing, you know? I mean, compare him to anybody, you know? I don't even know who to compare him to, but, like, we talked about Tagore, right? 20% HP. That's his only heal in his kit. He'll, like, 15 times the heals is this champion, you know? It's really, and that's all he does, you know? A weak provoke on his A1. It stinks, man. I wish I could kind of go back and take all those guides down. I don't know if I should, maybe, or those recommendations. But I'm making up for it by mentioning him on videos like this. Guys, that's gonna do it. Those are the 15 champions I got wrong in Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you for watching all the way till the end, and as always, take care, guys.